Drum roll, please. It's time for another episode of What's the Deal With? Da, 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 da. What's the deal with? Let's just go normal. Okay, everyone, it's time for another episode of What's the Deal With? And what I want to know what's the deal with is math and other bases. So what's the deal with this? Why are we learning math and other bases? Is anyone else thinking that out there? Show of hands. Okay. Why learn math and other bases? Good question. If I were to try to teach you about base 10 math, honestly, it would probably not work. Why? Because you are exposed to base 10 math in every single area of your life. Paying bills, going to the grocery store, money, ages, all of that. It's all base 10 math. So if I'm going to challenge your thinking and help you dive deeper, I'm going to need to take you out of something you're comfortable with. This is why we think in terms of other bases in this class. Let's just talk about base 4 for a minute, because you've seen a lot of videos about base 4. I want you to think for a moment of why this is wrong. So let's go back to kindergarten for just a second and think about in our current system. So we know that I have 2 digits, right? And I know that this is my ones place and this is my tens place. And if I ask a child to write the number 12 and they write it like this, is it correct? Are we allowed to have 2 digits in the ones place? No. Why is that? So you would say, no, they need to put this 1 over here in the tens place. Okay, but why is my question? Why isn't it okay for them to just write the 12 or that 1, 2 in the ones place? In order to explain this, let's go into base 4 for a moment. When I'm thinking about why we can't write and let me put this back here, why I can't write 12 in the ones place, what would be your explanation to that student? Hopefully you're saying something like, well, I have one group of 10, so because I have one group of 10 and 2 ones, that's why it wouldn't be correct. Now I want you to think in terms of base 4 for a minute, and maybe you were like, I don't really know how to explain that. Let's use base 4 to help us. So we know that in base 4, just like in base 10, I have some labels, right? And so I know that this is 4 to the power of 0, which is the ones column, just like in base 10. But I know this is 4 to the first power, which would be the 4s column. And then I know that the next one would be 4 squared, which would be 16. So when I'm thinking about the reason I can't have the 1 here is because I have a group of 10. That's because I'm in base 10. When I'm in base 4, it's different, right? And obviously I could keep going, right? There's more place values that keep extending on forever. But I just want to think about this because I have this number of dots here. And I'm thinking about how I would write, well, first of all, I count them and I see that there are 10. How do I write this in base 4? Well, first of all, I need to see, do I have a group of 16? No, I don't. Do I have a group of 4? Well, yes, I have a couple of them. Okay, so here's one group of 4. Here's another group of 4. So I have 2 groups of 4 and 2 ones. I don't pronounce this 22, by the way, because 22 is base 10. I would pronounce this 2, 2 base 4, and I would write it like this. Here's what I see sometimes on people's papers that they turn in. So I'll see something that looks like this, and they'll say that their answer for this number of dots, 10 dots, is 1, 6 base 4. But the problem is that's exactly like a kindergartner saying that that's how you write the number 12. That kindergarten is forgetting or not understanding that we can bundle 10 of those ones and have a group of 10. Likewise, in base 4, I can bundle some of these ones and have a group of 4. So I can make another group of 4, which is why I get 2, and I have 2 ones left over. It's where I get that 2, 2 base 4. So if you're pulling your hair out and you're wondering why on earth are we having to learn this, this is the explanation. I am actually teaching you about place value without you knowing that you're learning about place value. So we're tying the concepts of base 4 into the concepts of base 10. And many times as teachers, we don't understand why students have such a hard time with place value. You're like, you guys, easy. You just put the 1 in the 10s and the 2 in the 1s and you call it good. But if students don't have that understanding of why they're grouping those 10 ones and making a group of 10, just like you don't have the understanding, or maybe you're struggling with the understanding of how to group them into groups of 4, right? Then they're going to struggle just like you're struggling. This is basically a way that I can help fill the holes in your thinking and help you understand what your future kindergartners are going to go through when they learn base 10 math. That brings me to the end of another episode of What's the Deal With? I hope you found this video helpful and you now know what's the deal with learning math and other bases.